line
okay.
here.
Jason, is that true? Should we be watching out for a candidate with the surname Chavez, or I mean, is this Latin American strategy? Is there any legitimacy to these claims?
Look, I've got no idea. Whoever runs, they're entitled to run. It's a democratic system. I don't even know if the Labor Party is running a candidate. My view is that it's probably no point. As I said, it's as blue ribbon as it gets. This is a Labor Party. Sorry, it's a Liberal Party seat that's never even gone to preferences. And if you want to have a look at what's really going on here, it's interesting to see that the Liberal Party is starting to talk about the economy again. Ever since the national accounts came out the 3rd of June, we never got a question in Parliament about it. It all went to Smear and Godwin Gretsch. And the point of that is that when the national accounts came out and showed that the stimulus on the economy had stopped the economy going into recession at a time when every other country in the advanced world had gone into recession, and it's not an overreach, mate, because if you have a look at the Treasury figures, the Treasury figures show that if it wasn't for the stimulus, well, give me a second and I'll give you an answer. The data shows that if the economy hadn't been stimulated in the March quarter, then, as a result of that, the Australian economy would have shrunk and been negative 2%. They would have been 2 negative quarters, a technical recession, and as a result, we would have been plunged into recession like the rest of the advanced world. Because we didn't, you've seen this huge jump now in consumer confidence, the biggest in 20 years, this huge jump in business confidence. What this shows is the psychological impact on the economy that shows the impact of the stimulus is bigger than the sum of its parts, and it's helping to get us through this global recession. So if the Liberal Party want to have a debate about the economy, then I'm happy to bring it on.
Let's do that.
Because all of the things that the government has done has shown that the stimulus is working, and that's what business is telling me wherever I go around the country.
The point you're not making, Jason, is about China and it's a Rudd revisionism on what's happened with our economy. The China performance in the March quarter was the story of our March quarter accounts. The terms of trade under the Rudd government are higher than at any other time during the coalition government, higher than at any other time. It was our export performance in March that kept us out of technical recession. But the truth is, as you know, you work in the employment sector, you know how hard it is for people to get a job at the moment. People aren't there feeling like they're out of recession. They're feeling, you know, the tough things like everyone else is feeling.
They know it's
and
tough.
They don't take any comfort from the government turning around saying, look, we've solved all your problems. The fact is, it's our terms of trade and our China performance. It's the China stimulus that actually had the impact on Australia's economy, not Kevin Rudd running around saying he's invented sunshine that has helped the Australian economy. And the Prime Minister needs to start taking a bit of a true account of what's happening in our economy, because he'll sow the seeds of further economic problems. I mean, economists around the country are continuing to say that the stimulus should be re-looked at, because if he keeps spending money the way he is, there's only one thing Glenn Stevens can do, and that's raise interest rates.
All right. Well, after that economic sojourn there, which was interesting, I want to get back a little bit now to the by-election and the implications for the Liberals before we move on to something else. Now, Scott, I just want to get your thoughts on the timing of this by-election. It's due in late November. That's when the emissions trading scheme is coming back to Parliament. Would you urge your Liberal colleagues, all of them, and the coalition more broadly, to get behind your leader and work to compromise with the government and avoid any ugly division on this issue? Because the timing in terms of the by-election looks very awkward indeed.
What the timing of the by-election shows is, I mean, that will be for the Prime Minister to determine. He won't show up to the fight, but he'll decide when the fight's on, and he'll time it, I'm sure, for his political agenda. But when it comes to the ETS, what we saw in the Parliament the last 2 weeks was Malcolm's leadership on renewable energy. We have a renewable energy bill that has now been passed because of Malcolm's leadership in bringing the party together as a coalition, both parties together on coalition to support that bill. Now, it is not our preference to have to vote on this bill prior to Copenhagen, and the vast majority of Australians are now increasingly agreeing with that view, and that is our position. We think at the end of the day that the vote on this bill next time should be after we know what is happening in Copenhagen, and particularly what we know what's happening in the United States. Now, the government...
But that's not going to happen.
The government's not going to give us that opportunity, so we are taking the responsible, engaged position, as we've been saying on this program now for months, to engage and negotiate with the government to make what is a flawed scheme, which will export jobs and emissions, a better scheme. Now, the government...
You're not all doing it. Not all of the Liberals are doing it. Not all the coalition are doing it.
Well, the Nationals may end up going their own way, as they did on wheat, and that's frankly a matter for them. And that doesn't change the position of the Liberal Party or where the Liberal Party stands. If the Nationals wish to join us in that position, well, we welcome that. But at the end of the day, business wants us to negotiate with the government. The community wants us to negotiate with the government on this bill because that's what that's a good outcome for the country. But we're not going to have the opportunity to do it after the Copenhagen meeting.
Okay, well, we'll stay with us after the break on AIM Agenda. Don't go anywhere. We're going to look at the government's plans for a new Brand Australia campaign, also the government's back down on its youth allowance scheme. Let's stay with us after the break and we'll get on to those matters.